Yeah, I kind of want to go with you now. I have like no interest in fly fishing at all, but you're kind of selling it.
I've fly fished twice, and I would definitely need a pretty healthy refresher.
It's a
And
travesty. We have to go.
Yeah,
I
it's
know.
one of those things where like you really do need like a mentor of some sort who like has the equipment and like the patience to teach you. Like it's
Yeah.
not something, so it is a place that like a guide is really needed, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I had a mentor down in Massachusetts for a little bit when I was striper fishing on Cape Cod. This dude saw my buddy and I like having a good time, but clearly like we were beginners in the saltwater world.
Yeah.
And that was like the wildest summer of striper fishing of my life. Like he would just like call or text us and just be like, meet me here at this time. We're gonna go like night fishing at this beach, and I'm gonna like break you in basically. You just wanted to see if we could hang, and then he was like, "What's your address?" He started like sending me like striper flies like to my apartment. I'd be like, "Dude, this dude's nuts," but like I love it. This obsession, this like,
Yeah.
and it's awesome to pass that on as well. Like
Yeah.
it's fun to take people and yeah, just see that spark happen.
Yeah, totally. I would be curious on your perspective on this, like coming from the guide side. Like when you have someone who's thinking about like doing some sort of fishing experience, right? Like how do you describe to them the difference? Because I feel like I have felt this in the literally 2 times that I have casted a fly fishing rod.
Yeah.
But there's a different feeling and sort of like just I don't know, the ambiance around the action of like actively fly fishing compared to like whether it's ocean fishing or freshwater like on a traditional rod. So like can you talk a little bit about that and like
Yeah.
I don't know if I asked that question super well.
I think I know what you're getting at, but I think
Yeah.
like there's a mentality to fly fishing that requires you to slow down a little bit. You know, like especially if you're coming from like a spin fishing background or a bait fishing background, like the gear does a lot of the work for you. In fly fishing, you do the work, and a lot of that work is mental. Like the way that the rod and the equipment is all set up, it's meant to be very interactive. You know, you don't have a lot of I guess leeway. When you make a mistake, it's very obvious, and it's very obvious to the fish because your whole line will like smack on the water or you'll get snagged in the branches behind you, and that happens, right? That's still gonna happen. But like you don't have the benefit of like like live bait where the scent's in the water and the fish find that irresistible, right? Or in a spin rod where like you just like let go of it in an apex and the lure will do the casting for you, right? The rod and the lure have that relationship. We're in fly fishing, like the technique matters a lot, and so it's important to slow down, to have that mentality of like kind of perpetual learning. Like it's going to take a lifetime. Like I'm not the best fly fisherman out there. Like I still see people who are like out there in their 60s and 70s, and I'm like, no, that guy can cast. Like every time I think I can cast good, I'm like, no, that guy can cast. And that's what's so fun about it too, is it's like you continually get better for the rest of your experience with it. Not to say you can't do that in other types of fishing. I don't want to throw too much shade, but I am a pretty like diehard fly fisher, and I think that it is a more fun, interactive way. I grew up trolling on the Great Lakes. Like that to me was not that exciting, even though you caught big fish and you caught them regularly, because the interaction with the fish happened away from you, right? Like the things you did to make that interaction happen were so set. Where in fly fishing, it's just super dynamic. And like you can manipulate the fly and the line and the speed of everything in such a way that like you know exactly what you did that like made that fish take the fly.
And that is exactly why I asked that question, because you could tell by how I asked the question that there was a 0% chance that I was going to describe it so eloquently how you just did. But there is something to that because I've done both, right? And there is something completely different about that level of interactivity that comes with the constant action of like rolling through the fly fishing
And if
process.
you struggle to sit still like me, it's great because you're not just sitting and watching a rod. You actually get to do stuff all the
I
time.
struggle with the sitting.
Well, and that's where I think so many people sort of lose the interest in the fishing as a whole bucket. Is everybody just thinks like, oh, okay, well, I'm just gonna cast off my bass boat and just sit here and wait for something to grab, and it's kind of just like the age-old excuse of like, well, I wanted to get 6 hours away from my home, and so I went fishing instead. But yeah, that interactivity piece is really, really, I don't know. Like it is the
And it
thing
can
that
be
I
as
connected to the
immersive
most.
and active as you want it to be too. Like you could do a 10-mile day in the lights and just take a small rod and blue line for like small stream bookies. Blue lining is like when you trace a very small blue line in a map.
Good job.
And
Good job.
so you follow these like headwater streams up, and you catch small fish all day, and you can crank out miles if you want it to be like a more of a mountain day. Or you can go to a pond where you sit in a canoe and you watch like rising brook trout all around you, and you patiently kind of like wait for them to circle back around, and you cast, and it's like maybe like less physically active. But that's also like the beauty of fly fishing that I think a lot of people miss is like there is an aspect of the sport that is for everyone, like, and it's more accessible than people realize because of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, something I've been recently learning, I did some trolling this past weekend with my partner, and I'm like, there's so much that you can do ahead of time to like prepare you for being successful. And like, I didn't really know a lot about all of the education around it that kind of goes into knowing what type of fish are there, the temperature of the water, what you're using for your lure. There's a lot to learn and know about the area you're fishing in too. So like having a guide in that aspect as well is really helpful, especially if you don't know the area, if you're coming in with a lot of experience, I feel.
Yeah, and it can be tough to DIY if you don't have like the local history of a place and like what fish are there. I mean, like even like just environmentally speaking, like there's a lot of changes that bodies of water go through that change how fish behave, even if it's a pond that you know really well. I mean, water temperature is a big one. Like fish move very differently depending on the temperature of the water. Time of year impacts that. Water flows if you're on a stream. Like high water mean one thing, low water means another. We can go down a whole thing here, but the point being is, yeah, like there's a benefit to having a guide who's on water every single day or every single week, like knowing what's happening and what's changing, because staying ahead of those changes will make your experience more fun and more successful.